How's it going, everybody? Oh, it's weird seeing that delay. All right. Um, I am currently working on a project for a video game title of We Do Not Know. I'm gonna bring this a little closer. Um, Basically, the idea is that it is a roguelike game where you have cards to make your football players do moves, and then they get let loose and do their thing. So I guess it's kind of like you're running plays, and then they'll just do the thing, which is really cool. And you can see there's a ton of tracks on here. If I zoom this in a little bit, there's a lot going on. And that's because there's actually 4 songs running at the same time, which is kind of cool. Yeah, let's see. Does it say if people are watching? Yeah, nobody's watching yet. That's quite all right. So, anyway, what I'm planning to do today, I'm going to be working on one of the 4 tracks within the song. You can see different colors, which is kind of neat. The different colors are the different songs, basically. So there is the main, you're playing the game one. There is the song for when you're in the score, or in the store. Uh, there is one for the like beginning start menu and for the boss. And so I'm creating this fight song. What I'm going to be doing is either for the startup menu or for the boss. Let's see. I'm just gonna jump on in. I think I still need to figure out if I'm going to be in the instrument I got and if I put it in the menu or the boss. But there's a big empty space kind of happening. That's put it. All right. So we just jump in, huh? All right. It's weird narrating everything while I'm working through this. So, let's just do it. I already have a little bit more of the menu set up. I'm gonna do. All right. Is this audio even working? Uh, check 1 2. Check 1 2. I don't think I'm getting any. I guess there's one way to find out. I'm gonna load my own stream. Check 1 2. I'm getting audio. All right, we're good. Golden. Cool. Let's go back to Logic, and we're just gonna start writing then. Cool. So the way I envision it, you could break up a fight song into 4 parts. Basically, we're going to be doing like a fight song of some random school. We'll call them the Fighting Barnacles or something. Go fighting barnacles, not farting barnacles. And we can divide up the fight song into 4 parts. There's like first quarter, second quarter, which are similar. Third part's drum break, and then the fourth part's like a reprise of the second part. If I were to sing it, it'd be like just making it up. Ba 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 bum ba bum ba da bum bum ba da da ba da 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 do 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 fight 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 fight. That's the first quarter. Ba da 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 something barnacles. Ba da 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 do 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 ba 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 da 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 ba da da da. And then drumline part. do do, or you're chanting, let's see, Barnicles. Is that how you spell it? Barnic, and that is twice as fast. Go Barnacles. And then you get to the last part. Chord change. There you go. That's how you do a fight song. Like my wife is downstairs listening to me sing about fighting barnacles and probably like, what the heck is going on up there? All right. I'm going to play a little bit of the drumline stuff because it's kind of cool. I don't know how this is, so we're just going to hope it's good. Cool. And so those are the drum parts I have, which I've already done some work into getting that set up how I want it. So let's see. We are going to be starting somewhere. Right here. 60. Let me let in my very dramatic dog in that to it. All right. Decide if I want to start with drum. I think I do. We're going to put it as though it's the menu. I feel like drumline. Actually, what's funny about this is I don't even know the fight songs from either of my alma maters, which is hilarious. Uh, so I'm really just making this up. I don't know if I could sing a single fight song offhand that I know for sure the melody to, let alone the lyrics. All right, so we're gonna do a boom chuck sort of thing going on. It'll be but and what I like to do is I like to create some variance between the first part and the second part of a 1 bar or 2 bar segments, I should say. So the first bar is one thing, and then the second bar, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do and then I've been doing some velocity stuff. Drum lines have a ton of accents going on. They have a lot of louder notes and softer notes, and that's how, like, snare drum, you're really just playing one note over and over. That's one of the ways you make it really interesting, rather than just like flat loud all the time. Actually, I might move this to the 4th bar. All right. I'm not sure I'm going to even have tenors doing anything yet. So I'm just going to copy paste this over. And then Take the safe measure. And bigger hits. We'll do kind of like a bum, bum. So the kick drum and the centers. All right. I'm going to all right, have the vintage vibes brass, which I'm not really sure sounds like what I'm looking for necessarily. So what I'm going to do, so there's a ton of sounds, and I think part of it, unfortunately, is you kind of got to play around with it until you see something that works. What I might just do is do like an actual sounds, and then see if I can like uh, uh, make the quality of the sound file decrease to the point where it sounds like 8-bit, but it's hard to really get in and get that exactly how you want. So it's nice when they have a built-in setting that's just like, oh yeah, this is 8-bit style. So let's do these are all synthesized brass sounds, which are going to be much closer than the actual one, but it could be fun to mess around with like the actual sound. Um, Future feels brass. I think let's try out a few things. I also got to make sure I know what key I'm in. Nope, that is a terrible sound for what we're going for. Boom. I think we're in the key of A major for yeah. So one of the things I have to be careful of is I can't switch up the parts from the other 3 songs that are happening simultaneously. It has to work in a way where I can this over a little, see the comments. But because there's 4 songs running simultaneously and they have to be able to switch relatively seamlessly, I can't be like picking random keys or anything. So there is a shift in terms of the main part, which is the screen one, is going to be in A minor, but I want fight songs. So I think we're going to have to be in major. So what we're going to do is start with like a ba boom boom boom. Yeah, but the sound is not going to work, I don't think. That's pretty close. Just wonder how much this will actually do, because don't want much delay. Yeah. Reverb, rather. It's like, ooh, that barely did anything. So let's go in. Also, I don't want echo. See, already a lot better. This is like putting it through like an amp, sort of. This is probably what. Okay, we're imitating the tubas with this. It's not my favorite sound, to be honest. Classic synth. I don't know. Let's try a few other ones, and we. C4 is middle C, so we're already really low in theory. What if I did an actual tuba? Let's go to. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do is do like an actual, like different brass and things. I know we're gonna let's do a full brass. We'll have a tuba part on the bottom, because I think what the full brass will do is do like either a combination of things or it'll switch back and forth a little bit. But in terms of what instrument it's using. So if it's boom, 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 I don't want the high note to be a trombone and the low tuba. Randomly reminds me of how I took some law students to a low brass like festival at a bar once, and they were like, what are you doing? What is this even?" And I thought it was amazing. Anyway, let's see, for woodwinds, there's no like ensemble sort of thing for this, which is kind of unfortunate. um we have a piccolo over top. That would be pretty funny. Let's just start with low, just full brass, because I think that's going to get kind of a lot of the sounds, and then we can add in other stuff later. All right. I think we need 4 measures of oh, 2. Okay, so this one's bum, 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 bum. So we're gonna go from A to. Let's see how that's. Oh, I did 16th notes. We want bum bum ba. Tube is really quiet. And one of the things I've started doing is you can objectively see how loud or quiet something is. So it's negative 15 dB, which I don't know. I shoot for kind of within 10, I guess. You don't want it too loud, otherwise it's gonna whole project will start the whole project will start clipping. But yeah, see, even when we bring it up, it's well, about -10. So that's what we're gonna stick with. It's hard for an actual instrument to compete with synthesized instruments, I think. You gotta bring them up a little bit more. All right. I think we need to come up with a Fightin' Barnacles melody. Fightin' Barnacles are here. um, just gonna. I feel like it would be great to make a like fight song where I actually have lyrics for the Fighting Barnacles and go from there. Let's see. Barnacles are here today, coming to take your life away. No. Dun, 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 ba-dum, dun, 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 dun. I feel like it. Dun, 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 dun. Fight songs are very like on the beat, bum, 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 and with a few offbeats. And generally, good melodies tend to just walk in seconds up and down with a few jumps here and there, and I think fight songs are especially in that vein. So, dun, 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 boom, boom. Start on the third. I feel like it also does little chromatic bits throughout. That's just what I have in my brain. So let's see what we come up with. Okay, this is a melody. Let's bring it up. Yeah, listen to it switch from, I think, one instrument. Right there. Hear the trumpet. It's much more forward, bright sounding. Yeah, that's not going to work particularly well. So let's do just straight up trumpets, which um slowest note they can get. We're well above. Maybe C4 I thought was middle C. Everything sounds like it's an octave off, so I don't know. C4 middle C, something. Oh, but some software might call it C. I That's really confusing. Because yeah, it sounds like everything's high otherwise. So if C3, boom boom boom. So okay, we're on a. I think I kind of want. Yeah, put it. Yeah, okay. I've got like a fill going on here. I think that should also be and kind of. I think I might need to switch away from the chords a little bit. As long as they generally will come back to what's going on in the other music parts, it should be good. Cool. So. Da, 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 I think we just stay on the 4 chord, probably. Then maybe 2 on the 5 chord. So these are all major chords. Bum, bum, bum. And I feel like. Yeah, walking. Yeah, works together. That's this all combined would be like the first quarter of the entire fight song. So, all right. Listen one more time, then I'm gonna create the second part of the melody, and then maybe we can throw in some counter melodies or something. Yeah, I'll wait for something. Barnacles. Sometimes it'll just automatically switch what the velocity is, which essentially is just how loud it is, but it also will affect. Uh, like listen to this. So like a nice relaxed trumpet tone. And when you do it, It's yeah, more trumpety, I guess. So we're creating sort of a parallel. A good melody should be pretty predictable for stuff like this. And then what did I do? Quarter notes. And basically, we're just mirroring the first part, but using the 4 chord instead of the 1 chord. Ah. So we're on the 4 chords. Huh? Yeah, see, that's too much of a jump, right? What if we did? And I think just walking up, again, always going to be so much stronger. This feels almost circusy to me. So not too much chromatic. Too much chromatic will make it more circusy. Go fighting barnacles. And I hear counter melody coming down underneath that. So let's see. More interesting. I feel like tenor's part too. I feel like I want a chord change. Let's see, we're on. Okay. So this would be going to just straight to the 5 chord, I guess, or maybe a 7 chord. That would be okay. We're in the key of A, so it'd be G sharp. So actually, I want to switch it to the 5 chord earlier. Let's check it out. 4, 5. Then that would be like a 1 chord that would make sense to follow at that point. Just keep it moving. Maybe back to a 4? What if we just... I think that honestly works, especially with that melody is also working as though it's with the 5, actually. So Then it's going to look like the notes are pretty random. These are the notes I've established for the tenors. I tried to create it so it's mostly in tune and then just a little bit out of tune. A C sharp against C here. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to stay necessarily. All right, I think. I think let's start with counter melody. Trying to decide if I want to create like the comping underneath. I don't know if comping is the right word, but the chords going underneath. Boom, and I think this is where it gets kind of tricky. So we in full brass. We want to be out of the range of the trumpet part. We could even have it harmonizing. I think it starts on E here. Yeah. Too fast, everything. Over one. That was kind of nice. Let's see. So here I'm moving the notes in thirds together, which thirds are a really easy way. Yeah. Thirds are a really easy way to move notes together. That sounds really nice. If you try it on something like fifths, it's going to sound very like Gregorian chant or like heavy metal-esque. Sounds kind of, it's great for those sounds, not so good. Rich, lush harmonies. All right. Drinking some tea so that my throat is able to properly function to talk. All right. Kind of like these moving parts underneath. Ooh, that's nice. That just kind of worked out. There's like a little chromatic part underneath. I don't know if I like this note. But sorry, I'm just checking out. I haven't really streamed too much in the past, so this is just interesting to see what's happening and make sure it's all working. Did you know my stream health is excellent? I'm sure there's no jokes that can be made about that. But and we're on the 4 chord, which is a D chord. It's kind of low. I don't really know how the parts go in an actual fight song in the middle here, so I'm kind of just guessing. This seems to be working well enough. I'm gonna have to really change the sound of it, but it's kind of fun to try it out with the actual instrument sounds. Oh yeah, and we don't want to get too high from like a trombone horn sound to trumpet. Yeah. Ugh, yeah, that is rough. Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's doing too much on the same note. I like the pattern here too. Wonder what this would sound like with like 8-bit sounds. Anyway. Dun, dun, bum, 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 bum. Let's this one. Maybe. We're on the 4 chord to the 5 chord. Could we just be on the 5 chord this whole time? What note do we start on? Keep A, so 4. Be like a 5, 7. Let's just do the 5 the whole time. I think it's kind of where we're landing, it seems like. Yeah, oh, that sounds much more like what we want. Cool. Um, I wanted to do the like a polka sound and be bop, 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 bop. Do like offbeats with the harmony part. Bum, 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 ba da da dum. Bum. I already know. We do want this punch here. Bum, bum. Oh yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Doing the same thing where I double the speed of what it actually is. So right now there's 16th notes. Let's make yeah, trying to make it chromatic. All right. Trying to excuse me. Ooh. Trying to decide how I want to approach this. This part's going to be a drum line. That's going to be a little bit easier just because I've been a lot of that. Mm. All right. Just thinking ahead, I'm gonna do like a major 2 chord in here, maybe. Let's see if I remember that later. I'm gonna keep going with the melody. I'll figure out this harmony part a little bit later, but we'll take a break from that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the part. Ding, ding, yeah. Okay, that would be the B chord. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, ba-dun. Dun, ba-da-ba-bum. Dun, ba-ba-dum-ba-bum-ba-bum, bum, ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Bum, ba-da. Dun, bum. What's the arm surface? Let's see. How's Then ba da 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 bum bum ba bum ba da 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 ba bum. Let's see. So ba da dum ba dum ba ba da da. Actually. Uh, ba ba bum ba. Yeah, okay. I feel like I want to got a key again here, and I can't think of what that would be. Um, but I think of the hits. Cool. So, yeah, the moment you touch it, it'll change. So. And then maybe like a triplet thing here. Ooh, yeah. Feel like a fight. It's in my brain for. Yeah, I feel like there's always the trumpet that goes up there, and it's like their voice cracks like they're in middle school. Trying to get up. That's got to be too high. All right, I think the chords are still wrong in the middle there, but again, in this eighth verse, see. Short note. Yeah, that sounds like a piccolo note. Drum line needs to really lock in here. And then um and I feel like this part is gonna be like it's like a drum break, but it's not really a drum break. So louder note. So like so B A R N R N I C less. How do you spell barnacles? I think it's L-E. Yeah, it's L-E. Barnicle. I guess I got to do 8 of them, which is going to fill up the B A R N I C E. Barnacles to save the day. B A C L S. Yeah, let's do it that way. B A R N C A R N C. Barn Nick I C. Okay. B A R N I C. I need to bring those way down. So it's 6. Which means that means A R N I C L E. Uh, Okay, so we can't do the spelling thing for the second part. B, E, A, R, N, I, C, L, E, S. Cut. Some holes in here, just kind of kind of like switching it up. The first one's gonna be slightly louder than the second one, just the way rolls work. B A. Goals to win the day. Okay. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Still on. And a big drum roll. That is totally off. That would be like here. It. Then like we're gonna do it so it's like this big. Go D4. It's like a full measure of a full measure of build up roll. Do do did Oh, it's like a triplet. Yeah. Okay, so I need to space this out a little bit. And I think at the end point it's probably up. Okay. I didn't finish it here. Yeah, okay, so like we're gonna do a roll. One, I'm just gonna do third Portuguese. Okay, so and we can really wait to build it up. What is that? 44? Uh actually at this point we can I think at that point it's probably pretty loud. Yeah, actually, I don't even know if we want it that loud. Maybe we stop it here actually. Good. Is that too artificially? I mean, it's chip tunes. It's be fine, I think. All right, let's see. We need every beat for this one. So bat, 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 da, 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 da. There, right there. Go. Yeah. That's kind of nice. Space that just a bit. I want to. Yeah, I want it to be pretty distinct. So that's really good. Now we're back to this part. Okay. Now that we've had a break from that, from the first two sections out of the four, I'm going to jump back and I'm just going to see how this sounds again. Cool. That last part sounds kind of hot. Bum, bum, dun, 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 bum. Okay, and let's look visually at this trumpet part. The whole. I'm going to clear out some space. But what was the range? It's E to an almost 2 octaves, which is quite a bit. I mean, the whole point is fighting barnacles are the best sports team in the town. This is a slightly different color than that. Okay, this is a little softer than and we'd say save the big ending for and so that okay, yeah, so let's try that again. I'm gonna take this one out because right now we're well. I do have a crash symbol we could throw in. But that just feels like every drumline part. I know when I was in drumline, we played that. Okay. I'm gonna go back. Let's see if we can keep filling in this harmony. I really like it. It feels very full. I wonder what it's gonna sound like as a chiptune part, but what we'd say here? 5 chord. 5, 1. No, we're staying 5 there. I guess you could go to 1. It's like a 3 of the 1 chord, and then you do 4 of the 5 chord, and back to the 1 is one approach. We're not really doing that. So what do we say? Straight to the 5 chord. So, bum, bum. Maybe I could jump them down. I think we started about there. Work our way down. Perfect. That's gonna sound much better as a chiptune. This is very mariachi right now. Yeah. I kind of get these ideas. Sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. Like if the harmony matched the rhythm, and 80, that's the part. I think it goes to F sharp. So we want to avoid copying what the melody is doing. Which might just mean just sitting on that note. Cool. Yeah, I guess that works out for that. Any questions in the audience? For all, how many viewers are we at? Not very many. Oh, actually, more than 0 has been viewed, which is kind of cool. So thanks for coming and watching. You get to see the whole process. Hopefully the whole video will be put on. I don't know when you joined in, but I'm going to play what I've got so far. Even though not really 8-bit yet, I'm just doing the actual trumpet brass sound to see how well it lines up to an actual like fight song. So not sure I like that part. A little drumline bit. Oh hey, how's it going, Sarah? Yeah. Oh yeah, I got a thing on here where you can only comment once every like seconds or something. So yeah. Look at all these thirds I threw in here. It's just like just play that part. It's just all thirds. Actually, that part. That might sound good. Nice. You're not that aggressive though. We want as aggressive as or as soft as we can while not losing that tone of the instrument. Well, thank you. Yeah. We'll have to go in and record this with studio at some point. Weren't you just in there? You just said you were recording some things on the horn, which is kind of cool. Okay, I want to see how much I can just copy of that. Because I think we're back to tonic. Yeah. Okay, and here I think it can kind of get busier immediately. We're on a major 2 chord. Then let's do a moving harmony underneath. Where do I start it to make that work? And, ooh, that might be interesting. And I went full circus there. All right. Yeah. That doesn't sound like anything. Am I on the right? Did I? Yeah, so this is a B chord. How do I... Oh, that would be why. The problem is these harmonies overlap, I think. Okay. I could, if I'm doing the counter harmony here, I could actually do like a kind of break da 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 da. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna. Ooh, Um, da, 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 da. Yeah, if this is chiptune, it probably doesn't matter that much. That's funny. The bam. All right. How does that sound? I don't know if I like that melody though. Da, 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 ba, 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 da, da, ba, ba. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it would be D natural because it changes to D sharp there. Okay. Okay. Cool. It's starting to come together. Which time do I? $250 if I wanted. Need that much time. Finish it. Dun, dun, dun. So okay, I'm going to try and be doing like kind of stops in the background. Oh, cute. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a time. I'm forgetting what key we're in. Yeah, I don't know. That might be too sudden. I think the drums got to be in with it. Put it in the wrong spot. I'm using Logic Pro, which is kind of my go-to. It's like a more advanced version of GarageBand, which is actually surprisingly powerful. Honestly, all the stuff I'm doing in here, I think I could probably do in GarageBand, but I got a Mac, so I gotta stick with that sort of program. What's nice is it's like a one-time $200 and you own it. In fact, I think the last time I checked, it was still $200, which is crazy because I bought this years and years and years ago, and like before inflation got crazy, and it's still the exact same price. It's really cool. It's a great program. It's got a few quirks that, like, if you don't remember the shortcuts, it's a pain. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this event list thing up here. And sometimes when I load the program, it just loads this part. And then recently learned Command 1 will actually get you the rest of the everything that's going on. But it's weird when it doesn't show up at all. And you're just like, I don't know. I think under Window, you can make it work too. But yeah, what's nice about MIDI too is I'm not having to go in and really mess with these settings all that much. Although it did take out a lot of the oh, I guess for these it wasn't, but uh, go ahead and treat it like an amp and get rid of some like reverb and overdrive or whatever they happen to have on that particular plugin. So, uh, yeah. Bum, bum, ba, dun, 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 dun. Bum, dun, dun. What if it was like bum, dun, 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 dun. Oh, that down. We're still in the 4 chord, so that would. Mm. Yeah, I don't quite know what to do with this part. I just mimic the chord. One chord. Found it. I'm doing a B chord here, but that doesn't really make sense. I think that'd be a minor 3 chord. That would be minor 3 to 4. That would, could work. Oh, actually, spot. Maybe 6. Okay, so that sounds like it works, and then some 4.5. Cool. Appreciate that. It's a lot of fun to be writing this sort of stuff, and you can see I've done a lot of it. I think this particular part is a lot more involved in terms of understanding like the chord structure, and it's like an entire song packed into 4, 8, 16, 32 bars. So yeah, but this is like, I think if I could pick like one musical thing to do, this is one of the most enjoyable ones to me. It's also very frustrating sometimes, but yeah. Yeah, I really should mess around with changing these sounds so that they're more 8-bit at some point too, but I should probably finish it up. I should also add in some tenor parts. Let's finish up the harmonies here first, I think. Works pretty well. Okay. And I think the one chord per beat. But if I walk it down, that'll work. And we're at a minor chord. What do say? F sharp. Yeah, that works out. Okay, where do we land here? I think that could work. D, okay, 4 chord. I guess I could just repeat that note. I think probably a big pause here makes sense in my head. 4 chord would be D chord. E. Actually, if a note's gonna shift, maybe the bottom one. And whatever the melody's doing here, I think we could just oh yeah, fight, fight, fight. Go fighting barnacles. Yeah. That's my imaginary school that I'm imagining here as the team that I'm on, the Fightin' Barnacles. Originally, I was thinking about coming up with some words that would match that, which I suppose I still could. So, barnacles are here to beat you, going to take you downtown, or something. All right, yeah, this is what I live for. Songs about fighting barnacles. Okay, and I think the fight, fight, fight on the one chord. Dun, dun, bum. Ooh, I could do like a something ending on tonic. That where the notes are kind of off. Second. Yeah, so if it's all A's, I think we can like do some wrong notes there. Like the first note could be especially wrong. Okay, this might not work. That is funny. I think in context it probably doesn't sound great, but let's try it. I kind of want to leave that, actually. That's amazing. And then a very nice one to end it. All right. I'm going to leave it for now, and I'm just going to come back and see if that makes sense to do. Okay. I bet I can finish this up today. So the way I originally envisioned this was like 4 parts. From here to here is the first part. That's kind of the main idea. Here to here is the second part, kind of like an answer in a way, but also leading the way to a little drum break where they do BARNCILES. ES. Something barnacles about here. Go barnacles. That might get in the way of the vocal chant, but that's the idea. So first part, second part, third part, and then fourth part's basically like a reprise, I think, of this part. Does if anyone's in the chats, do you actually know your fight songs? Because I do not know my fight songs, and it's a problem because I don't have anything to actually reference. I just have this loose idea of what I think a fight song should be. And I feel like my gut, it says, just repeat this part. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste this whole thing, and I want to, oh, I don't even know what I did there. What is happening? Okay. There we go. Then this is like the actual drum line part. So I think that works. Yeah. And then we're back into whatever the actual part is. So cool. Honestly. Okay. Probably going to wrap it up pretty soon. So if we actually wanted to make this a chiptune sort of, probably wouldn't use these sounds, honestly. So I've been using this metal bass thing as my bass line for most of the song. Actually, if you want to hear what I have so far for the beginning, it's going to sound totally different. Honestly, yeah, that's pretty good. The vintage vibes brass actually works surprisingly well. So maybe I switch it over to that. Maybe the whole thing's just in that. Honestly, let's definitely this part. Just gonna make a copy of that, and I'm just gonna move it all. We're just gonna see how it goes. Yeah, that's there's too much reverb happening. Sure, in that lower parts, or in the lower parts. I think the top part can have a little bit more. Yeah, this is interesting. Lazy sub. All right, so I'm just gonna. Okay, I don't want to change the reverb on this one too much because that's actually what. it's doing the melody, and I think that reverb's helping, versus here it might not be. So actually what I should do is workshop this a little bit. Melody up top to get the one with the reverb. Then totally dump the reverb for all these, I think. So keep that, lower that, lower that, and I would bet that helps. It's too much though. Is that too high? In terms of... Oh, I wonder if you do excuse me. When you do a tuba sound, it might do an octave lower than what you think. That's too low. Okay. I think we need to get a different tuba sound. This is where it starts to get kind of tricky, messing around with all the sounds. So this might be do it later, because I actually got to leave for work at some point. Just go teach some lessons. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that. There's some open questions still, so I might come back and I might do another live stream if people are excited by the process. But I think for today, we're just gonna leave it with that. So, yeah, thanks for watching.